up, Dokkaners? The 10th anniversary celebration itself is over, but commemorating 10 years of Dokkan still continues, as they're going to be marketing every celebration, I think, for the rest of the year as sort of an extension of that. They did this recently with the Saiyan Day celebration, I think, on the JP side. Yeah, so they continued with the same actor guy who was talking about, I think, Kid Goku and Saiyan Day, and they used this line right here, right after showing the Kid Goku stuff. 10th anniversary. So this translates to the 10th anniversary begins. So even though the celebration is over, the 10th anniversary celebration overall is still ongoing. Now, I'm mentioning this because they could drop any sort of like banger at any moment, right? So it's always good to be ready. Right now, this banner, I think a lot of people are going to be skipping, which is completely understandable, completely fine. So in the interest of helping you save stones, that is why we are here today discussing this video, because you can earn almost 20 free stones by doing these two things. Number one, the player survey, which we will actually do a little bit of in this video. But the other thing that some of you may not have noticed, I did talk about this during the data download like preparation period. They said that they were going to be adjusting these two events right here, the Ginyu Force Special Training and the Battle Smart Brawlers Team Bardock. These are two free-to-play teams that newer players especially will have the comfort of knowing they can very easily pick up. Back in the day, this used to be something where you would need at least a week to assemble, because each day was designated for each character, and it otherwise just took a pretty long time. Where'd my music go? Oh. And so now they have adjusted it multiple times, making it easier. Now, over the past few Saiyan days, they've actually adjusted the events more. So the fact that they did it again during this Saiyan day had me thinking maybe they're doing this for a reason. It could just simply be because they want to make this more accessible for free-to-play players, for newer players, because now 10th anniversary, you know, there's more players who are in the game. But I feel like there's something more coming up. Regardless of what actually is going on, you guys should know that even though it may say complete here, because you've already completed the missions before, all the stages are up for grabs. So if you go through them again, you're going to be getting at least one dragon stone for each stage. So I'm going to go ahead and do one of them right now just to show you. But if you consider these 6 stages on the Bardock side, and then the other 6 stages on the Ginyu side, that's 6 plus 6, that's 12 dragon stones. So I'm going to go ahead and do this real quick. This is my link leveling team. You know what? I'm going to bring my link leveling team right now. Let's go ahead and jump in with my link leveling team. And yeah, they have this event used to be webbed out to like 3 different paths that you could take. If you fought the grade 8 version of the Saiyan, you would get, I think, 2 times the copies or something like that. I don't think it was always guaranteed, but now it is. So let's just go ahead and use this active. Yeah, it takes him out, dude. Yeah. All right. Oh wait, no, you do fight 2 versions. Okay. Was it always like this? Huh. Okay, so I'll do this, and then I'll do this, and then I'll do this. Sure, of course. Yeah. If my stupid link leveling team can do it, then yeah. Oh, I got 2. I think you just get 2 now, no matter what. I think that's the idea. So I just wanted to show the entire run here so you can see that you can still get stones for this, even though I've completed all the missions. I beat the fight. Boom, dragon stone. So I'm going to go through and I'm going to do the rest of them myself, and that's going to give me another 11 dragon stones for basically no reason at all. So go in there, get those done. There's no deadline for this, but you should still do it. Now, the other part of the video is, in fact, the survey. I already submitted my survey and I already got my 7 dragon stones, but what I thought we could do is through DokkanInfo.com, I can actually do the survey again. So I wanted to go through a couple of points that I think you guys should consider mentioning in the survey. The point of the survey is to make Dokkan better. These surveys are what give us the opportunity to tell Dokkan what we think about certain things. The more constructive you are, the more seriously you're taken. I understand that there are some things that you might be very upset with. I'm sure there's a lot of people who are probably hell-bent on trash talking the Festival of Battles. And while you may not like the event, if you go about it the wrong way, it's not going to hurt you, but it's also not going to help at all. So you're just wasting your time. You're just yelling into an echo chamber. So do try to be as constructive as you can. So what I wanted to do here is I wanted to go through some of the key points in the survey. It does, if you actually put some thought into it, it'll take maybe like 10 to 15 minutes. I'm not going to do all of it. Well, actually, I guess I could do, I'll just pause through each point and then I'll kind of mention what I'm discussing. So first they ask you for your age, your occupation, and then we jump into the main stuff. I'll probably just go through it. So here they're asking, they just want to get your mindset, right? For each element, strategy, team building, enjoyment, difficulty, what is it that you prefer? So I want to engage in battles and figure out my team as I go. I want to be able to use my favorite characters for any battle. I want to be able to dive into the world of Dragon Ball. No, I want to enjoy the game through waves and waves of battles. This might be a thinly veiled reference to Festival of Battles. So if you don't like Festival of Battles, maybe don't pick this one. Difficulty, I prefer to take on manageable challenges. I want them to be as difficult as possible because that's the only way that the game sort of retains its interest, in my opinion. So that's what I'm doing there. Then for the next page, please share your thoughts on the promotion. So this is where they want to know like how you found out about stuff. This one, I will say, if you are interested in trying to kind of promote content creators, you know, I wouldn't be opposed to you doing that. So YouTube, Twitter, what else? Discord. Those are really the only things that I've ever found out about stuff. So please select the promotion media that you made you open the game. I mean, yeah, just pick whatever one is relevant to you. There's like a bunch of different things down here. Oh man, I know people are not gonna want to talk about this one. After skipping a couple pretty baseline ones, here's another one. Choose the reason why you started playing the game, Dokkan Battle. There's one right here. Wanted to watch a broadcast. I watched a broadcast on Dokkan from an unofficial example-given content creator source. Oh yeah. Push them content creators, people. What are your thoughts on reversible exchange? I'm glad to have more strategy. I'm satisfied with the skill, but I don't find it necessary. The effects of the skill are so complicated that I can't be bothered to use it. Some people probably feel that way, so give your honest thoughts on reversible exchange. I like it. Switching from attack mode to defense mode is kind of cool. Then they ask about a Dokkan Event Chronicles. That's the nostalgia bait event. And then they ask you more about the event. They want to ask you how you feel about certain changes that they've made to the event, the battle UI, the orb animations. I know that some people actually had an issue with how bright or apparently like disorienting the orb pickups animation could be. So whatever your issue may be with one of these features, you know, by all means tell them exactly how you feel. I'm sure this one is going to be a point of interest for them, the passive skill being updated. I think at this point most people are okay with it. I think most people, I don't think there's anyone who is against it. Maybe there's a few, but I think most of us can agree that this was probably one of the best updates they've ever done. And then more aspects about the battle UI screen. They just want to know how you feel about all of it. All right, so here are some additional things that I wanted to mention. The battle UI, it might not necessarily apply here, but I just wanted to point this out before I forget. So show enemy stats. This I think is very important because in the course of a battle, when you're fighting an enemy who has the ability to gain defense with each hit, we have to be the ones to keep track of how many times they get hit, which can be annoying, right? So just like what they did with our units' abilities and how we can keep track of how many attacks we've launched, how many attacks we've been hit, we've dodged, they should give us the ability to track that for the enemy as well. So attacks received, super attacks launched, attacks evaded, etc., so that we can more easily gauge how much they have evolved over the course of the battle. Some enemies get weaker. They lose their damage reduction after a few hits, right? So this should be something that we don't necessarily have to do any homework for. We should just be able to see it. Give us the option to permanently display our attack and defense stats during super attack animations. Right now, we can only see our attack, and that too, it very quickly disappears after you start the attack. So they should let us see both, and then also they should give us an option for those of us who want to keep it there to keep it. But if they don't want to keep it, they can just keep it as the usual setting where it just disappears after a second. This is another one. I don't know if this, I mean, yeah, I kind of like this. If a dodge, critical, or additional ability is used, please display whether or not it happened because of the passive or the hidden potential. That might be a me thing, but I would kind of like to know, like if I dodge an attack when my unit has an 80% chance to dodge, I would like to know if it was the 80% or if it was my backup 6% hidden potential or something like that. So these are the things that I wrote down here. I don't know if it necessarily applies. I feel like it does. So I might also include this towards the end of the survey where they have like a longer, more extensive portion of all thoughts, but I just wanted to point that out. Then they ask about Daima. So you guys can give your thoughts on Daima. I'm going to skip past this one. All right, so at the end of the survey, this is where you provide your final thoughts. So I once again repeated the stuff that I mentioned before, and then I wanted to throw in a few more things. I know I'm forgetting a couple major ones, but these are just the ones that I wanted to point out in case you guys felt the same way. Skill orb tracking. I think it's important that we should be able to know where all of the skill orbs are instead of having to constantly just go through, because this is the situation that I currently have to deal with. When I'm looking for a dodge defense skill orb, this is what I have to do. So like if I want to give the dodge defense equipped to somebody, like, you know, here, let me, like this guy, I want to give him a dodge defense gold slot orb, right? I have to basically go through and look like this, and then I'll see, okay, this guy's got a defense one. Where does that come from? Is it something I can give? No, it's for Goku. But I want to be able to see it here. There should be a way to see it in here. And then if it's grayed out, that means it's being used. And if you click on it, you should be able to know, okay, this character has it. So that way in the future, if I want to replace that equip for something else, I should be able to do it. The very point of these EX orbs is that they're reusable, but it's very difficult to reuse them because once I equip them to somebody, they're lost in time. I just don't know where they are. So that's why I think that would be an important one. Make the Training in the Clouds event permanent for more efficient link leveling. Drop Super Battle Road stages in bulks of 10 once again, as the event provides low levels of challenge and minimal rewards. This might be not necessarily something that most players agree with, the newer ones especially. But for me personally, I just feel like Super Battle Road is such an uneventful content drop at this point that it might as well just revert back to what it used to be. Because they used to do it where it dropped all at once. It was a fun event for players to try to race to see who could finish the 10 stages, that too no item. So I think that they should go back to that. Please expand the friends list capacity. I think most people will agree 100 friends is just not enough, especially at this point, 10 years in the game. Allow access to any stage directly in the Festival of Battles after a player has fully completed the event. Now this one, I think some people are a little confused by what I mean by this. When it comes to this event, the reason why I think being able to access any stage directly is a good idea is because in the future, let's just say 6 months from now, we are given a crazy strong defensive tank unit who is virtually invincible. You may want to gauge how invincible they may be by taking that unit directly into the Vegito event without any stacking achieved. You want to see in a vacuum how hard Vegito, who is the strongest boss in the game, how much damage they can do to your new tank character with 1 turn or maybe 2 turns. You want to use a Ghost Usher. That's why I think that this would be a good idea, just sort of as a way to provide more options for players to playground test certain characters. Of course, at the end of the day, if we have a way to just simulate all of this stuff, that would be great. But since this is a mobile game, we can't exactly, create like a little sandbox zone to do all that stuff. So having the option to try certain stages specifically, I think would be nice. And this is only after you win. Once you've beaten the event, there's no challenge or there's nothing at stake. You can just go to whatever boss you want to fight and just do whatever you want to do. I think that's fine. Just like with Extreme Z battles, after you clear the Extreme Z battles, you can go back and access whatever stage you want, just like that. Please make other metrics provide more points towards the account power level. It is too heavily weighted on max link levels. So I think most of us will agree. 1 link level 10 is 1,000 points. That's a lot. But then everything else is basically 1 point, 10 points. I think they should either provide more metrics that vary in weight, or they should just make the other ones worth a little bit more, because some players don't like to link level as much as others do. When choosing a leader unit, this is probably the most important one for me. When choosing a leader unit, please display all units that fit under all possible levels of that leader skill with a percentage visible. So this is something that I feel like more people are going to understand as the leader skill meta evolves. We are now at a point where a character has 3 primary leads and then 3 secondary leads sometimes, right? Or here, for example, the Tech Vegito. 3 main leader skills, 2 secondary leader skills. So if you are trying to check out and see what all options are available for each combination, you have Earth Protecting Heroes and Earthbred Fighters, Earth Protecting Heroes Potara, then Fused Fighters Earthbred Fighters, Fused Fighters Potara, then Pure Saiyans Earthbred Fighters, Pure Saiyans Potara. That's 6 combinations just right there. And then there's another 3 just by these 3 leader skills on their own. So that's 9 total combinations of leader skills that you would have to go through to find the characters that could fit. So I think that if they could do something to try to streamline the process where when you pick your first character, it automatically filters by all units that could fit under the leader skill in whatever capacity, that would be good. Because right now, what I end up having to do is I will go to the Dokkan Info page or the Dokkan Wiki to see what sort of units fit under certain leader skills. And I don't want to have to do that. I mean, maybe that's just me being lazy, but I just think that as the leader skill meta continues to evolve, when we get to 4 main leads and 3 sub leads, it's just going to be chaos. So give us a way to make that done easier. And I think that's it. So once you do that, submit, and you will get your 7 Dragon Stones in your game. I've already submitted, so I'm not going to be getting anything for this one. But I just wanted to share my thoughts with you about some of the important things that I feel are necessary to convey to the devs at Dokkan. Of course, they're not going to listen to all of it, but the more you give your thoughts in a constructive capacity, the more likely they will do some of these things in the future. So I think it's a good idea. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that and get your free stones. Coming up tonight, we've got the Kid Goku EZA. Terrifying Conquerors is the category weakness. Since he's physical, bring STR Terrifying Conquerors. I don't really need to say much more than that, so let me just filter out by Terrifying Conquerors and then go to STR and Wabayam. Easy, right? Very easy. So there you go. I will see you guys tonight on the live stream. Guys, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to like down below. Leave in the comments your thoughts on some of the improvements that Dokkan could make at this point. What are some of the points that you feel more strongly about? Do you agree with any of my takes about some of those suggestions? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Also, be sure to subscribe for more no content in the future and click the notification bell so that you let you know you want to see more of my stuff doing. Thanks again. Stay tuned and remember to Dokkan responsibly.